All right, everyone. Welcome into Wagers on Campus 2020, 2025
Hey,
college football. We are doing all of the conference previews over these next couple of weeks as we get ready for college football, which is just a little under 50 days away. And in today's episode, we're going to be talking about the SunBelt Conference. We just got done recording the Conference USA conference, and today we are going to talk a little bit about the SunBelt, and we're going to talk about some players to watch and get into that conference a little bit. But thanks for tuning in, guys. We really appreciate it. This is Mayor. I'm here with Burns. Burns, what did you kind of uncover as you started to go through the Sun Belt a little bit?
yeah, I mean, this is, I think, we paired them just because of our familiarity, but, I think it's clearly above the MAC. So I'd say it's the third to bottom when we come to evaluating conference talent and capability of competing with higher Power Four schools. So I think there's a lot of really good, talented players and names that you'll enjoy watching throughout the season that we'll talk about. Those random ESPN, what is it, plus games that aren't on YouTube TV that you just throw on the spare TV in the 11 a.m. slot, or the random weeknight game. You'll see some talent.
100%. So, out of this conference, is there any team or teams in particular that you're most excited about?
Yeah, I think from a outside looking in, uh, with what happened at Marshall, just uh, Southern Miss now taking all that Marshall mojo. I mean, there might be more Marshall players from last year on Southern Miss than there is on Marshall, if that makes sense.
Well, what happened at Marshall? That's what I would want to know.
Well, Charles Huff only led them to 10-3 record and got axed after this happened earlier in like 5 years ago. Doc Holliday, great name. Basically the same shit. Like something's going on in West Virginia with like Marshall. Like, what else do you want this program to do besides? That's very impressive. And basically, the team revolted and everyone split, and they almost couldn't play a bowl game. And so a lot of them followed coach down to Southern Mississippi. Much better weather, at least, than West Virginia. I was going to say area, but West Virginia to Mississippi, no offense. Just like robbing Peter to pay Paul there, huh?
Your words, not mine. You know,
Okay. Yeah, yeah. Toeing the line. Mr. Toe the Line Mayor.
Randy Moss, Brett Favre, West Virginia, Mississippi.
Yeah, all right. So, way to show me up there, because obviously there's one severely better man than the other, and it's out of the West Virginia program or state, I should say.
um, that's an interesting observation, though, especially with Marshall's coach leaving to go to Southern Miss. Man, that's crazy. This is a decently like large conference. We got what, about 15 teams in here, 16 teams, pretty big
Yeah.
conference.
Mm-hmm. I think 14 teams, but yeah, it's the conference that has East West still, so splits it up, and most teams have abandoned that, or most conferences have abandoned that. So props to them for keeping the old school way.
Yeah. And Texas State, this is going to be their last year in the conference. Is that right?
That's right. Heading to the Pac-12.
Wow. What did Texas State do to deserve going to the Pac-12, Burns? Out of all the
Uh,
schools.
I think it's more of what's behind the scenes. They have. I'd say that program has really kind of had a bit of a meteoric rise here. Um, Obviously, them beating, what was it, Baylor 2 years ago, or TCU, one of those other Texas teams, uh, and then almost beating Arizona State last year. People forget this team was in a shootout with Arizona State. So,
Yep.
uh, they're
Good point.
starting to put together a pretty good program. And just, I think it's, how do you not when you have that recruiting base out of Texas?
For sure, man. That's well said. I mean, you're right. They did beat Baylor back in 2023, 42-31. That's when TJ Finley was their quarterback, the former LSU and former Auburn QB.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I remember that Arizona State game last year, early on in the season, and I saw this white running back for Arizona State, this absolute beast. We all know who that ended up being, Cam
Yeah.
Scatabo, New York Giant running back. But yeah, it's a good point. So going into the Sun Belt, where do you want to start?
You want to just jump into the all conference teams?
Yeah.
Obviously, if you're listening now, our episode yesterday covered everything we had for the week. So no small talk here on this pod. We're also going to dive into what we just did, go through all the Sun Belt wins and losses, eye up a couple futures that might be worth taking a look at once we go through that. So yeah, let's dive into the all conference team that we put together. All right, share that.
Is Brett Favre the best Sun Belt quarterback of all time?
When it comes to NFL career, yeah, I would think so.
I would think so too. I would think so too. You know, you got
I
you
mean,
got Chad
Pennington,
Pennington and
yeah.
Byron Leftwich from Marshall.
You just wanted to get a little Favre suck off there for the Packers Nation.
No, I'm not that, but uh, I'm just talking ball, man. Just talking
Yeah,
ball.
for sure, for sure. Oh yeah, of course we gotta. Why would I make these just highly elaborate graphics if we don't start off with the preseason conference award winners? Brought to you by yours truly, MVP George Pettaway. How about this? Away from the quarterback, we got a running back, James Madison. Expect big things. Just a uber talented kid that's really going to be the bell cow in a very dominant James Madison offense. A name that many may know, Walker Howard, a big recruit, six overall recruit, six QB recruit from his class. He's taken a few steps back, leaves Ole Miss, comes to Louisiana. He's a raging Cajun. I think he'll be the newcomer of the year. I think uh, just this environment, really good program. I think he's going to be able to shine to what he was originally expected to be. Offensive Player of the Year, Braylon Braxton out of Southern Miss. I just think their schedule lines up for him to really shine. He's a dual threat, and yeah, he's coming over from Marshall to Southern Miss, and one of those players that we just talked about. So I expect him to just be let loose. Did really well last year. And then Jordan Lawson, just a fucking freak. Over 20 sacks the last 2 years combined. Definitely a player, in my opinion, that will be playing on Sundays. And yeah, out of Louisiana, we got two represented, the Raging Cajuns, Reggie Law's alma mater. So yeah, preseason awards, congratulations.
Very well said, sir.
Thank you. So now we'll dive into the all conference teams. How about that?
Catch me outside. How about that?
Alrighty. So Lonzo Barrett, obviously hurt towards the end of the year, but should be good to go. If not, your boy Matt Sluka is the backup. As many remember, the prissy boy that left UNLV for not getting his starting nod. It was, I think, around like week 3 or 4. It was like wildly early in the season. It was not within the transfer window or anything like that. And it was a hot topic for a lot of the weeks in between Saturdays of
Oh
this
yeah.
crybaby.
Oh yeah, for sure. Sluka, man, he had some really good runs against Kansas in that Friday night game that UNLV actually ended up. Did they end up pulling that game out? Yeah, I think they did. They win that game? I
Against
think they did
Kansas.
win. Yeah.
Yes, they did.
Yeah, Sluka had some really nice runs in that game. And then you're right, he abruptly transferred when UNLV was like undefeated, and we were all over Fresno State when they played UNLV the week after because of that transfer, and that was the wrong call because UNLV ended up dominating that Fresno team.
Yep, that's fair. Can't win them all. Listen, the kid's uber talented though. Barnett. Although Sluka, I'm a little concerned, uh, but I'm basing this all off talent and what I expect the right thing to happen. But Sluka's head coach from Holy Cross is now coaching at James Madison, so that's what concerns me here. But we're going off of just talent alone. Uh, 2,600 yards passing, 26 touchdowns to 4 interceptions. Add 7 touchdowns rushing for Barnett last season. So 33 all purpose to 4 turnovers. That's just incredible stuff. Petway, my MVP. Uh, this year, expect the full carry amount from him, just under 1,000 yards, but 6 yards a clip. That's insane. 5 yards, or I'm sorry, 5 TDs last year, uh, close to 1,200 yards total line of scrimmage in his first full go at it. He did come in from North Carolina 2 years ago with no real experience under his belt. So, first year full experience. Really like what I see from this kid. I mean, he's an absolute stud. And when we look at other playmakers in the conference, Corey Rucker back from Arkansas State after a pretty solid season, just a great talent. Georgia State, Ted Hurst, one of the few shining lights at Georgia State, who's going to be probably not the best team in college football, if we're being honest. Bo Sparks, great name, great player. Texas State's going to have a good offense. It's going to run through him on the outside. And then River Helms, another great name, Georgia Southern. Really like what this program is doing with Clay Helton, but it seems like it's time for him to shit or get off the pot after such a hot start last season and finishing so poorly.
Yeah.
Jordan Lawson, Louisiana, is my defensive player of the year. Stud, but a few other Jamal spelled with a dash. It's pretty solid.
Yeah.
Troy's going to be one of the worst teams as well, but they have a few studs with 3 players on the first team defense, in my opinion. Jordan Stringer at linebacker, and then Jaquez Wright here on wrapping up the first team.
Yeah. Yeah, well done on the list. Not much to add. You covered um, Barnett, the quarterback at JMU, obviously. And as far as the receivers go, I agree with you in terms of putting Rucker and Hurst on the first team. And I also agree in terms of your defensive player of the year pick. Um, yeah, no real qualms other than Troy. Do you know what NFL Hall of Famer went to Troy?
DeMarcus Ware.
Boom!
Bang. Yeah, that was lucky. One of the few small school NFL guys that I know.
You got it.
Thank you. Second team offense. Hey, there he is. Another Payne at tight end. Joining the Payne Bros from
Toby?
Marshall. Toby Payne.
Toby.
Yep. Rara Thomas, incredible name, incredible talent out of Troy. Javin Simpkins, uh, he runs a little bit better than his last name around women would would lead on. Xylon Perry, Louisiana, is going to come in, replace a strong rushing attack with the Raging Cajuns. Walker Howard needs a little bit of the uh, help on offense, so should be getting it. J.C. French is my second team quarterback. Listen, not the most outrageous stats for his first season at the helm, Georgia Southern, but I just am very optimistic in this offense in Clay Helton. A few other ones. Jalen Slappy is an incredible lineman name, making my second team offensive line. Same with Carter Sweezy. Uh, this is like an all name conference because Chance Gamble at defensive back is maybe the perfect like defensive back name of all time.
Yeah, for sure. Chance Gamble is crazy.
Just taking all the chances and gambles on the outside, seeing if it'll pay off. Yeah, Jamon Tapp and Emmanuel Bush are two bigger names, Southern Miss and James Madison, respectively, in the pundits' rankings for their preseason all conference. So they're right on the line. Um, yeah, and then Wesley Miller represented South Alabama. South Alabama, lost a ton of offensive production. Major Applewhite has got his hands full. They lost Gio Lopez. They lost Fluff Bothwell to Mississippi State, and then Gio to North Carolina, obviously. But that's a tremendous amount of production from South Alabama. So we'll see how Major Applewhite can respond there.
Yeah, definitely. I would be looking forward to watching Jalen Rayner, the Arkansas State quarterback. Is he on any of your all conference teams?
No, he's not.
Yeah, Rayner can run, pretty decent passing numbers. I think he's on some other all conference preseason prediction teams, but the Arkansas State quarterback going into his third season as a starter, cumulatively he's thrown for 33 touchdowns next to 17 interceptions. That would be someone to watch.
Yeah, 100%. Third team, Braylon Braxton is my third team quarterback. Again, he's going to be my offensive player of the year. But when it breaks down of what he's actually done, 19 touchdowns to 2 interceptions last year, but a little bit lower passing. He's 1,600 yards passing. But like I said, he can use his legs with 600 yards rushing, 4 touchdowns. So, well over 2,000 yards all purpose last year in a role that is definitely not fully his yet, and now it will be because he only had 200 pass attempts at Marshall. So we'll see what Charles Huff can do, keeping him at the helm. Like that, Braxton. And then OJ Arnold, Georgia Southern can run it quite a bit. So we'll see a lot of him in any Georgia Southern names. Chris Dawn, Texas State's going to throw that thing around. So that's why I have 2 of their receivers in my preseason all conference teams. And then Ja'Cory Thomas, Old Dominion. Old Dominion sneaky. I don't know if I can really put my finger on what they'll do this season. So they're kind of under the radar for me, and they have some talent that they could make some noise in this conference specifically. But yeah, that's the third team, and we can mention a couple of defenders after we hear what you have
Yeah,
to say.
yeah, it's a good shout out on OJ Arnold with Georgia Southern. He's a shifty back with home run speed. And Chris Don Jr. from Texas State, you mentioned him as well. Deep threat with strong hands and good route running. So yeah, I mean, you hit the main guys for sure.
Yeah, at ULM. Listen, 2 years ago they had zero conference wins, and then last year, a new coach just changes the whole mentality of the program. They're expected to be horrific, and they make a bowl game, and for like the second time in their entire existence, and they win three conference games. So I've got a few of them, like defenders returning, Cavante Wells, David Godsley, are two guys that should hold down the hatches for Monroe, but not sure if they'll be able to get back to that bowl game.
Right. Yeah, when you get to these really small, well, not super duper small, but these smaller conferences, it's harder and harder to go through the weeds and come up with these preseason teams. So, but we did it. We did it here on Wagers on Campus.
Yeah, we sure did, Alex. We absolutely did. Uh, yeah, and then we talked about it in the last episode, but close wins, close losses. There was a team that led the entire country last year in close wins. You want to take a guess at who that was in this conference?
Yeah, my guess is going to be Marshall.
No, it was not. They have three net close wins, and teams with three or more or three net close wins have a weaker uh, result to the next season 77% of the time. But the leader for us, Arkansas State, seven close wins, zero close losses. That is unprecedented. 92% over the last 20 years have gone a weaker performance the following season. That's something that I'm really circling when it comes to Arkansas State. I know you like the quarterback, but those are just numbers over 20 plus years that I can't ignore when it's in the 90s.
Yeah, definitely. Look for some regression.
Yep. And then no one represented in the close losses category in this conference, except for Troy. Troy's the last team. They had three net close losses, improvement 76% of the time the following season. So will Troy fall into that 24%? Because, it's not 100%, Alex, just because they fall into this category.
Yeah, precisely. Hey, if you got Troy at plus 5, plus 6, go ahead and rip them.
Yeah. Closing thoughts on the teams.
No, I think you covered it.
Okay, sweet. That's because we need to talk about the win losses in the Sun Belt. How's that sound?
That sounds like a tough task, Burns. I'm glad I have another sicko in the trench with me to go through these fucking games in the Sun Belt.
Whoa, fucking game.
Yeah, sometimes I like to spice it up.
It's not my fucking problem. Oh yeah. When it comes to the regression that we talked about, as I'm loading this up, Arkansas State's number is 5.5 win total. They won 8 last year, so um, already expecting a regression from Vegas. They kind of worked that in there. So tough to just put your bets on Arkansas State under 5.5 when a regression could be a 6-win season. So let's go through the season before we start making any rash decisions in the betting portal. Troy's 5.5 as well. Damn, one, two, three, four, five, six SunBelt teams set at 5.5, two at 4.5, and one at 6.5. This conference is right on the bowl line.
Yep.
Okay.
Why do you think it's called the Sun Belt Conference?
That's the Sun Belt part of the country. Isn't that like the South is known as like the Sun Belt? There's Rust Belt, Sun Belt.
I think you're onto something. So give me more.
Okay, I got it pulled up. Not the Sun Belt. The the game by game.
Ah, the Sun Belt is a region in the U.S. primarily encompassing the southern and southwestern states. So I'm not sure why
Yes,
this is the Sun Belt Conference then.
a lot of these teams are Southern, Southwestern.
Mm,
Louisiana, Alabama's,
so
Arkansas.
that's southeastern.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point.
Thank you.
It just sounds cool. How about that?
That could be it too.
Uh, Before we go through this, we didn't do this for CUSA. Let's do this for the real quick, just briefly. Who do you like before we go into this to win this conference? I like James Madison, and then I like USM, and of course Texas State is probably going to be a thorn before they leave.
Yeah, I would probably go James Madison and Georgia Southern.
Okay, so let's get into it. Week 0, week 1. UL Monroe plays St. Francis. I've got something on this game, Alex, uh, that I don't have a line on it yet, but if it's under 3 scores, I will be on ULM like a fly on shit because St. Francis is actually moving backwards to Division 3 because they don't want to pay their players, and I think a lot of them already transferred out knowing that. So next season they'll be Division 3. So you can look at this team already as a Division 3 team playing an FBS team that already has showed signs of trending upwards. This will be a potential favorite bet of the week.
I love it. Oh my god.
Yeah, sorry, I'm not going to do that for every single game, but this one I wanted to specifically talk about just because of that angle in its own. Because there's no way Vegas knows this team's about to be a Division 3 game, right?
Exactly. They got no idea.
Okay. App State, Charlotte. Um, Tim Albin can fucking fuck right off.
All
Um,
right.
yeah, App State. Man, so last year, all right, I know it just said we're not going to go into every game, but a couple of interesting games in this conference. Uh, Mississippi State goes to Southern Miss. So shout out to them for accepting that, but also, what the hell are they doing accepting that? That's going to be rocking stadium. They're probably going to go all blacks, which would be nuts. Week 1. Listen, Toledo went down to Mississippi State as a road game and beat the shit out of them last year. You're telling me Southern Miss can't hold their own? They'll probably be like a 2-score dog, 10 plus range, maybe a little under 2 touchdowns. But do we think Southern Miss has our first upset of the year?
Not me.
No.
I think
Well,
I think it'll be feisty. I think it'll be frisky. I think Southern Miss will have a chance, but Mississippi State hangs on.
okay. Yeah, new coach, new system. So definitely, there is a lot of moving parts as much as we'd like to see it. Indiana should beat Old Dominion pretty easily. Uh, Marshall loses everyone, and how about this? Your opening game is Georgia. That's going to be a 40-point spread, folks.
Oof.
Weber State, James Madison. That's not on a bracket anywhere, so I think James Madison gets that done.
Yep.
Coastal at Virginia. I think a different year, Coastal would be good here, but I think Virginia is just the better team at home.
Mm-hmm.
You agree? Yep. Arkansas State should handle Southeast Missouri State. Troy gets Nickel State. Should be Troy.
Yeah.
South Alabama should beat Morgan State pretty easily. That's another good bear logo. Is from yesterday's pod about Missouri State. Morgan State has a nice bear logo. Uh, Georgia State at Ole Miss, easy money. Texas State, Eastern Michigan. Sorry, Mac should be Texas State. Stop me when I'm wrong, Alex.
You're good, bro.
Louisiana Rice. Are you familiar with what Rice is doing this year? We haven't talked about them yet.
Warner's kid, is he still there?
I do not believe so. But
What are they
they're
doing?
they're running the triple option, brother.
Hmm.
So talk about a gut punch for Louisiana. Having to open up with the triple option. I have this theory that anything more than a week being able to prepare for it should be good, so it shouldn't trip them up. But also, you got to be good at running the triple option for it to be a nail in people's side. But yeah, look for Rice to be another triple option team in the FBS.
Interesting. Okay. Remember back in the day when Georgia Tech was a triple option team not too long ago?
Oh yeah, yeah, and just churned out what Brandon Marshall, Calvin Johnson.
Calvin
Nope.
Johnson. Yeah. Not Brandon Marshall.
Oh,
Calvin Johnson.
but who was the other one? There was another big. Oh, Demarius Thomas.
Yeah.
I was thinking Brown. R.I.P. to him. Georgia Southern at Fresno State. This is sneaky, Mayor. This is a sneaky, sneaky game. Fresno, obviously, question marks at the quarterback position. Listen, Georgia Southern could be a good team this year. Do we like a road game cross country week one?
Yeah.
Ooh, just a quick yeah. All right, take week two on from here
James Madison versus Louisville. We'll go Louisville
on Friday.
uh, on a Friday. Yes. Lindenwood, App State. We'll go App State. Troy,
Yep.
Clemson. We're going to go Clemson. Texas State versus UTSA. Whoa. We're going to go Texas State here.
Wow. I think they should be dogs in that. I like it.
Ark State, Arkansas. Give me Arkansas.
These teams haven't played in like 100 years. Like those backwoods ideologies didn't want in-state schools playing each other because of fandom. Didn't want fandom switching. That's the
Wow.
rumor. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good tidbit. No, I didn't know that.
There was a
Jackson State.
law. There was a law that tried to get passed to force them to play, like a while back.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's pretty nuts. A law so two schools can play football, and then we're talking Arkansas State. This isn't like Ohio State, Michigan. Come on.
Yeah.
Jackson State, Southern Miss. Please. Missouri State, Marshall. I think we went Missouri State.
We did.
North Carolina Central versus Old Dominion. We'll go Old Dominion. Memphis, Georgia State. Is Georgia State seriously going to start the year beating Fresno State and Memphis?
No, that was
Yeah.
Georgia Southern. You
Oh,
got your
you're right.
Georgias confused here.
You're right. We'll go Memphis. Tulane, South Alabama. Give me Tulane.
Yes, sir.
Charleston Southern versus Coastal. We'll go Coastal. Georgia Southern, USC. Give me USC.
Yeah,
Alabama
and
over.
this is Clay Helton's return to USC, obviously, with that short stint. If you remember Clay Helton's stint at USC, and Georgia Southern's on the road, so you imagine they'll be staying on the West Coast.
True. Alabama over UL Monroe. And then we
That's
got
don't pull anything stretching for that one.
former Will Wade's team, McNeese State, although this isn't basketball, taking on Louisiana. We'll go Louisiana.
Louisiana. Week 3.
Week 3, Memphis versus Troy. We'll go Memphis. South Alabama versus Auburn. Auburn, please. Iowa State versus Arkansas State. That's a weird game if that game is at Arkansas State, but we'll go Iowa
Yeah, it
State.
is.
Interesting. That's like when Iowa State played Ohio a couple years ago in
Oh yeah,
Athens.
that's right. One of the worst games of all time. It
I
was.
felt
I
like,
think it was like 3-3 at half.
yeah, I felt like I was watching a D1 college football game on like a high school field in the middle of a cornfield. It's very weird. Louisiana, Missouri. We'll go Mizzou. Eastern Kentucky versus Marshall. What do you think?
Marshall will get a win.
Okay. Jacksonville State, Georgia Southern, please. Murray State, Georgia State. We'll go Georgia State. App State, Southern Miss. We'll go Southern Miss. Old Dominion, Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech.
It's a bit of a rivalry lately. Old Dominion's won a couple times against these boys.
Sure. East Carolina versus Coastal. You tell me.
Man, I'm low on Coastal, so I like East.
All right. And then Texas State gets their rematch against Arizona State.
This time it's at Arizona State, so I think they should be able to handle that a little better than last year.
Yeah, we'll go with the Sun Devils. Week 4, Louisiana versus Eastern Michigan. All right. Arkansas State versus Kennesaw State.
I think we had Kennesaw, but you can change your mind if you want.
Kennesaw's fine. Southern Miss, Louisiana Tech. I think we had LA Tech.
Yep.
James Madison versus Liberty, JMU. Marshall versus Middle Tennessee. Troy versus Buffalo.
Oh man, this is tough. Buffalo returns a ton on defense. Troy, you said, should struggle on offense. This is just a stinker game on a Friday. I'll go Troy.
All right. Coastal Carolina, South Alabama.
Man, I think South Alabama can win at home.
All right. We like UTEP over UL Monroe.
Yep.
Georgia Southern over Maine. Vanderbilt gets the revenge on Georgia State.
Yeah. Yep.
Crazy. And then Texas State over Nichols.
Yeah. What a man. That was bad last year for Vanderbilt. After who knew what was about to happen later on, but man, that season could have gone way better.
Yeah, I mean they beat Alabama what, about 2 weeks after that Georgia State
Yep.
game.
Yep.
Week 5, App State, Boise State. I'm gonna go Boise.
Damn, dude, what's going on? Is there like a deal with the SunBelt? All these games are on. All the last week's games were on Friday. All these games are on Friday. It might just be a typo in the system.
Yeah, I don't know, but I'll go.
Uh,
I'll
but
go. I'll go Boise.
yep, big matchup here. Georgia Southern, James Madison.
All right, you pick it.
I like James Madison. What do you think?
That's fine.
The
Liberty.
Old Dominion.
Yeah, you make the pick.
I think it was Liberty. I think we already.
Liberty, Liberty. Marshall, Louisiana. Go Louisiana. Arkansas State versus UL Monroe. You make the call.
I think we went Ark State because all these we're seeing all these CUSA Sunbelt matchups that we picked last episode.
Yeah. South Alabama, North Texas. Give me North Texas.
I agree.
Jacksonville State, Southern Miss. Give me Southern Miss.
Yep. And now let's get into the conference play, why don't we?
All right. Texas State versus Arkansas State. Texas State. Oregon State versus App State. That's a weird game. I'll take App State.
Yeah, at home. App State's just kind of been stalling the last couple seasons. Big expectations. I think they get some big wins this season.
Yeah, maybe Luke Combs will be on campus for that one. Uh, James Madison versus Georgia State. Who do you like?
Georgia State's just not very good. James Madison will win. Ooh, big game for you next.
Big game for Mayor as Northwestern hosts UL Monroe. I'm going to go with Northwestern.
It'll be a dark day in the program if that goes the other way.
Yes, it will. Coastal Carolina versus Old Dominion. We'll go ODU. And South Alabama versus Troy. We'll go Troy.
Okay, already looked it up. Disregard my statements about Friday. That is a typo. All these
Okay.
games are on Saturday.
Okay. Week 7, we got Southern Mississippi taking on Georgia Southern. Make the call.
I like Georgia Southern to get the win here at home.
All right. We got UL Monroe taking on Coastal. Make the call.
Coastal.
App State versus Georgia State. Make the call.
Let's go App State.
All right. Louisiana versus JMU. I assume you're going JMU.
Yeah, I like JMU.
Old Dominion over Marshall. We'll take that. And then Troy versus Texas State. I'm going to go with Texas State.
Yep, I think that's good. Good inkling there, partner.
All right. Week 8. Arkansas State versus South Alabama. Let's go Arkansas State.
Okay.
Coastal versus App State. We'll go App State.
Yep.
Georgia State,
Rivalry.
Georgia State, Georgia Southern. We'll go Georgia Southern. Old Dominion versus James Madison. We'll go JMU. Texas State Marshall. We'll go Texas State. Southern Miss Louisiana. We'll go Southern Miss. And then Troy, UL Monroe.
I like
We'll
UL
go-
Monroe.
Okay. All right. I like it.
I like the boys to get a couple wins this season.
Okay. Cool.
South Alabama, Georgia State.
Week 9, South Alabama, Georgia State. You make that pick.
I think Georgia State's going to have more than one win. This is going to be where one of them's going to come from.
We got Georgia Southern versus Arkansas State. I'll take Georgia Southern on that one.
Man.
App State versus Old Dominion. Go Old Dominion. Louisiana versus Troy. Give me Louisiana.
Ooh, okay.
And then UL Monroe, Southern Miss. We'll go Southern Miss.
Big time. Week 10.
Big time showdown between JMU and Texas State.
On a Tuesday at Texas State.
I got to go Texas State, personally.
Whoa.
But I know you like JMU.
I do. Ask the wife as an arbiter. Just say just tell her both schools, don't say anything else.
She's at the gym.
Ah, fuck. Okay. I'll defer to you. Texas State, big win for the program.
All right. Coastal over Marshall.
Battle of the Greens. Yeah, Coastal. Arkansas State. Yep.
Got someone cutting my grass right outside, so I don't know how loud that is.
It's not very loud.
Old Dominion versus UL Monroe. We'll go. Well, you make that call because I know you like UL Monroe to get a couple.
I like Monroe to get a win here at home. Big Louisiana week. I think Louisiana can handle South Alabama as well.
Okay.
All right, entering the dog days. Ending the season here. Another big game.
Georgia Southern, App State. We'll go App State. Tough place to play that late in the year. Southern Mississippi versus Arkansas State. I think Southern Mississippi is due for an L. We got to go Ark State.
Whoa, okay, threw me off there.
Georgia State versus Coastal. We'll say Georgia State.
Damn, keep pump faking me.
James Madison Marshall. We're going to go JMU. And then Texas State, Louisiana. We'll go Louisiana to get a home win.
Whoa, a letdown spot for Texas State.
Yeah, exactly.
Whoa, you are an arbiter of chaos.
All right, week 12. Troy, Old Dominion. We'll go ODU. Coastal Carolina, Georgia Southern. We'll go Georgia Southern. Marshall, Georgia State. Do we like Marshall to get a win?
No, not on the road.
No. App State, JMU. We're going to go JMU. South Alabama, UL Monroe. We'll go UL Monroe.
Yep.
Texas State, Southern Miss. We're going to go Southern Miss.
Wow. Biggest win of their season, and they lose 2 in a row afterwards.
I know.
All right, final week of the year.
Week 13.
Or wait, no, it's not. Week 14 is.
Week 13, we got Louisiana taking on Arkansas State. You make the pick.
Man, I think Louisiana's the better team at this point. Walker Howard has really shined in his first season at the helm.
We like App State over Marshall. Old Dominion versus Georgia Southern.
Give me Clay Helton.
All right. Washington State versus James Madison.
Washington State is not very good. I like James Madison.
We like South Carolina to beat Coastal.
Yep, for sure.
UL Monroe versus Texas State.
Texas State gets back.
Georgia State versus Troy.
I like Troy here.
And then Southern Miss at South Alabama.
Southern Miss.
Okay.
Final week of the year.
Week 14. What were you saying?
Arkansas State, Old Dominion, 2 fighting for a bowl spot. Same with Troy. And then a lot of James Madison secures the East already, but the West is wide open. Southern Miss, Louisiana. Even Texas State is still alive.
Yeah. All right. Arkansas State versus App State. I think we got to go App State.
At home, yeah, absolutely.
JMU takes care of Coastal.
Even clinching, I agree. Trying to get in the playoff.
Georgia Southern beats Marshall.
Yes.
ODU over Georgia State.
Yep.
Texas State over South Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
Louisiana over UL Monroe.
Wow. Okay.
And then Southern Miss over Troy.
And that does it. So we have Southern Miss versus James Madison in the SunBelt final, with both teams easily covering their win total. James Madison 4-1 to win the conference, and USM 25-1 to win the conference. So damn, Mayor, if we're confident in them getting to the title, that's going to be a pretty nice little future to be holding on to.
Yeah, 100%. 25-1 is a sweet price.
Just to win a conference. I mean, shit.
Right.
And we have them as a 4-loss team, though, so to make the playoff would not be a bet I would recommend in any way. James Madison, though, 10-2, 13-1 to make the playoff. You know, they could possibly win one of those games that we had lost. That would be more of a team I could get behind to possibly make a playoff appearance.
Sure. That makes sense.
Marshall, underwhelmingly bad, 1-11. And then and their win total's 5.5. So that might be a favorite bet from this podcast.
I think so.
I mean, that's a huge differential, 1 win to 5.5.
Yeah, seriously. We might be on the under.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, this is yeah. I know it's a lot. I mean, going through this, but hey, at this point in the season, you just love having something in front of you to be able to look at, and man, there's I think when we go through these, we're understanding that there's a ton of good games in all conferences that we'll definitely have circled, not just the Power Four names. So don't be surprised when you flip on your TV on a random weeknight late in the season, and some of these teams we already told you about in July are putting on a show for you.
Yeah, man. For sure. I agree with everything you just said. It's fun. It's fun to dive in and it gets you more excited when the games are actually taking place because you you're kind of excited about what's going on. You kind of maybe know what's going on. You're juiced up about it. Like I was juiced up about Florida State versus Georgia Tech last year in in Ireland. In Dublin.
Dublin.
All right, guys. That is the SunBelt conference preview. Thank you for checking us out.
Yep, like and subscribe, and we will be back next week with the AAC and the Mountain West plus Pac 2. Bye. Love you guys.